we were discussing that how PMax offers less control over placements and budget allocation. Even among asset groups, it's almost impossible to you deciding your budget. Like suppose you have a new promotion on, but you also want to keep your evergreen ads, but you want to reach maximum number of people with your uh, new promotion because it's a very good offer, but you don't want to pause your successful ads that you have run in the past. Then it's very difficult to manage your budget, right? This is a huge issue, like lack of control and transparent in terms of transparency also.
Yeah, so as you said that we don't have any control over this, and or we cannot tell in a, so if some kind of promotion is running, we can't tell that what is performing or not. So I'll give you one example, the same thing regarding the promotion thing, that if let's suppose I am having one promotion that is running, and my normal one asset group that used to run from last 5 to 6 months, that is running. So now if I want to compare the both of them, that okay, which one is performing, either the promotion that I have added is performing, or the last asset group that was running from the last 6 months is performing. I cannot tell till now. I don't have any options to basically see that okay, from which asset group I am getting most conversions.
Yes, and that reminds me, Ajay, like we wanted to get some data at the asset level, and it was so difficult for us. We wrote some script and we were able to get the data till asset group level, but when we wanted to get the asset level data, it was almost impossible, right? And then we had to buy a script and all. Such a hassle. Just to
Yes,
know that which creative is performing, right?
correct. So as I said, key, it's a dark space. You don't have access to what ads running where and which creative you're performing in a which way. Yeah, I mean that's the challenge with this PMax campaigns. You don't get the overall data or overall picture, and very limited knowledge or very limited resource available online as well. Even though if you are paying to the for the script, that too you don't get the whole data.
And also adding on, why complicate the process? Why basically we need to add the script to get the data? It's all rightly get the data there on in the campaign itself. Why have to buy some script to get this data? So that's a big issue. I think we were aware of all these script that they are there, but let's suppose if we were not aware of it, we could not have got any data about it.
I just wanted to like tell you this, but if you use the script we were using, you are definitely getting a very clear segmentation at the platform level and at a very means at a very specific detail about which platform is working in which campaign, which type of campaign. So I think the biggest advantage of this script is that you can use it in
Instead of having nothing, if someone who's starting with this, someone having very low budget, new to the market, and you have a low budget and they want to start with a PMax campaign, I think this script is really helpful. It will decide them to whether they want to spend more or they want to continue with the PMax campaign or not. So it will help you to make decision or take better decision. So I would encourage to, and they certainly give you the good idea of good insight actually.
Yeah, adding on like Ajay said, the level of insight is good, but we have to spend the money on the script to get these kind of data. And it's
if you are running lead generation campaigns, running PMax is very risky. There is a very high possibility that your ads will run very fine on Monday. You will get 50% qualified leads, and just on Tuesday, your qualification will drop to 10%. It's very inconsistent in terms of quality.
inconsistency is like second nature to the PMax campaign. I mean, so for any kind of advertiser, sometimes what happens is that in the first month or in the first 2 months, it runs well without any issue. You get the store visits as well as leads. Maybe the leads are of junk quality, but still you get some amount of lead. But after 2 months or so, what it does is that if the advertisers start reducing the budget, or if they change the campaign goal, or they do any kind of change, so it goes back to level one and starts pushing the traffic on the display sites more, I guess, because the CPC starts reducing sometimes, and you see the again the leads has gone down considerably in the third month or so. So it's not stable, that like you said, and it's a bigger issue than the other campaign. So if we have some search campaign running, it's more of consistent, you know everything that what's happening, and you can basically control some things over there. But in the PMax, like I said, you cannot control. You don't know that if you change the budget, or if you increase the bids, or if you change the strategy, where will the budget start going? Whether it will go to display, whether it will go to search. In the starting, it just doesn't sometimes perform, and you have to make some what's in your control. You just control the creative part in this PMax campaign, or the
Mm.
asset group part, or the signals. So if you have some kind of customer data, past customer data, then it's good for you. But if you don't have that customer data, then it's very difficult for you to even get something out of this sort of campaign. If I have a huge list, let's suppose I have data of like one past 1 years or something of that sort. So that's useful. But if we don't have some kind of audience signals, then it becomes kind of difficult. We can try to feed it with some data, then Performance Max actually gives some result. But if we don't have that, then it becomes quite difficult for it to perform.
So, like, suppose you are an e-commerce brand, right? You are a retail e-commerce brand. What can be a realistic expectation, like, and what will be the optimization path? So, like, how many days typically it will take to learn?
For any campaigns to pick up, actually, so we need around 30 odd conversions to even think about something. I mean, you need to have 30 odd conversions in a month or so. Google recommends actually 50, but if we have 30 also, then it starts performing on a trajectory, and then you have things in control. You can go to maximize conversion, and after some time, like if you have run the campaign for 2 odd months or 3 months, then I think you can shift to target ROAS as well. But in the starting, you have to spend a lot of money. I ran some campaigns, and basically in the first 3 months, we have to spend a lot of budget, and going forward, like 4 months, we started actually reducing the budget and increasing the target ROAS.
So, you spend more money so that your learning gets completed.
Yeah, the learning is good. So
So, it's like a money intensive crop.
in the starting, yes, you need to have a lot of money to actually run
Yeah.
this campaign. They try to push more money, so they'll ask you to reduce the target ROAS just because your campaign starts spending more money
Mhm.
90% of time. So let's suppose my campaigns are performing excellently at target ROAS of 1000%. Google rep will call and say, "Oh, your budget is not spending entirely, and if you want to increase your sales, so try reducing the target ROAS targets." If my campaign is performing well at that target ROAS of 1000%, why would I reduce that? If I even care and do the change according to that,
Means there are emails from our Google rep, right? That they wanted us to reduce target ROS and our campaign is limited by budget.
yeah, it's
Like,
well
I cannot
documented.
spend more money on this, but still they wanted me to reduce target ROS. Ideally, they should be suggesting that increase the target ROS. This is completely wrong suggestion coming from Google.
Yeah, so what they want is for you to spend more money. They don't care about the results you are getting, that the ROAS you are getting. They don't care about that. What they care about is the money they are getting, the platform is earning, and
Mhm.
that's it.
How to optimize? What should be the approach to run a successful PMX campaign?
I think PMax campaign is not a create it and forget it kind of campaigns. You don't have the much data to see, but definitely you need to keep an eye on it because it has a tendency to spend your money on absolutely bullshit sites. And if you don't check it frequently or monitor it frequently, you don't know actually what is happening. And like I said, if the PMax is performing for you, if the PMax is not performing you for around 1.5 months or so, so I think you should go away from that PMax campaign. Don't try to even think about running a PMax campaign the ads if you haven't got any conversion for 1.5 months in this campaign. That's I think of, and the campaigns are performing. And if you are asking me about the optimization, if we have asset groups, we need to think about the signals that we are providing. If we can just update the customer list that we have, or we update the audience, basically the in-market audience, if we have some kind of that product. So yeah, we just need to keep updating, keep A/B testing, run more ad groups, asset groups if you can, have more creatives in multiple asset groups if you want. And in e-commerce, actually, if we can have some separate basically asset groups for the product. So let's suppose in some listing groups, if one of the listing groups we can have the high performing products, in the other asset group we can have the low performing assets.
So I think the approach might be something like this, that if you want to optimize the performance max campaigns, there are two approaches to it. If you are not like approach one, as you rightly pointed out, if you are not going to use any script, then you simply try and test, like add more and more assets
Hmm.
and see how they are performing, and then keep on. And to be honest, even that is not very trustworthy, because you remember we saw the same headline one time. It was saying that it's performing really well and the performance was good, and the next time when I did a refresh, it was a poor performance. So
Hmm.
it's very hard to, like, the same headline, and the kind of bugs we see with the performance max campaigns, like it's impossible to delete an asset. Like all these like systems which are not fixed with performance max, they are in form of challenge. But I think let me talk about this script part. So once you have pulled the data from the script, then you know which asset group is performing and which asset group is not performing well, and you also get kind of an idea which asset is performing. So if we know like which asset is performing and which asset group is performing, and we have the numbers in front of them, we don't have any superficial word. It does not make any sense, good or bad, or poor, but we have real numbers where it's showing that what is CTR or conversion rate for this creative or this asset group. Then we can certainly spend more money in the asset groups which are converting at a higher rate by pausing the ones which are not performing at all.
True.
So, and removing the assets, probably exchanging the headlines, and using the right CTH. So all these things we can do if we use a more scientific approach, a more, let's say, engineered way to manage your performance max campaign. And I think the most important thing is, like, first thing you should do, go to shared library and except for the category which is most relevant to your business, block all other kinds of apps. Even then your ads will show, and we were talking about it, like they will not show 90% of the time, so you will definitely save yourself lot of wastage.
No,
Can
the
you
content exclusion part is very important. Only one settings can be a difference in the good performing campaign or something of that sort. So there is an option of content not yet labeled, which to every advertiser I'll say, yeah, guys. So if we go into this and into content suitability, these are basically for the YouTube display and search partner network. What kind of inventory you want to show? So the recommended one is the standard inventory, but I think if you are on a limited budget, you should definitely go with the limited inventory. And the option that you need to definitely exclude is in the excluded types and labels. We definitely need to tick box this content not yet labeled. These are basically all the sites that are newly created, that are newly entered into the Google AdSense, and which doesn't have any categorization or some sort. And you definitely need to exclude that from your campaigns. And also these live streaming YouTube and embedded below the fold park domains, you need to exclude that in all the campaigns that are there in your account basically.
And what other targeting options we can use, like while doing optimization, like adding the search themes, and what else we can do?
Well, adding the search team definitely helps. Basically, we need to do the same thing that we used to do for the search campaigns. So what we'll do is let's suppose we are running a campaign for mattress, and we need to search for the keywords that are actually that have high search volume. So we'll go to the keyword planner and in the targeted location and see the what all keywords are there and what sort of search volume they have, and put that in these search themes. So if you are running at branded keywords, so you can, so let's suppose you are running it for the asset group for some brand, so you can include the branded search terms in the search themes, right? And also the mattress related keywords also you can put. Let's suppose if the mattress cost is like above 5,000, if you check in the Google keyword planner and there is search volume available for that, you need to include that in the search theme. So both the branded and non-branded term need to be included in this search themes. You can add up to 25, but I think we mostly add like 10, 12 themes that are more relevant because it's like more of the topical thing rather than search theme is a different than search keyword. So in search theme is a more broader concept than the search keyword. The 10 keywords should also include the brands that your competitors, mattress, the generic keywords, and the branded keywords. In the audience signal, like I said earlier, also you can add the customer list if you have some data. You have run the campaign in the past, or if you have first party data, also we can add that here.
So basically, in audience signals, we can add interests. So what do you like? Interests are basically in market audiences, right?
Yeah.
And then we can add demography.
So like I said, we are running some campaign for the mattress, so we can definitely select these kind of option in market. If they are for the in market in mattresses, it will try to target our ads to people that are actually searching for this product.
So I think we should not miss this while setting up the campaign. And I think this makes the whole premise of PMax being simple actually wrong, and it makes it more complicated. Because if you don't add all these signals like search themes, like audiences, and if you can go down with the demography of the audience you want to target and all the other optimizations which you are adding based on the limited data that you are getting from the Google is very tricky. Setting up the PMax itself is very tricky, and then optimizing it based on the demography or in market audience data even more difficult.
One of the challenges, like I never so if my asset group is performing, if I have the script and I know the asset group is performing, I try to create a separate ad group. And in the optimization part, if we are thinking that we need to target the users, so someone has bought a new home, they are more likely to purchase a mattress. We can add that in a different asset group rather than adding it on the same asset group that is actually performing. So we have to keep that in mind as well. Basically, it's all about A/B testing. You cannot A/B test in the already performing asset group. You need to A/B test in the next asset group that you create. Like if you are seeing here, if I do the table as well, these are the campaign that I have run for a month. And if I go to modify columns, like I was saying that if we want to know that which asset group is actually performing, and I try to modify the columns, I don't see anything apart from this campaign ID and all. So basically, I don't have any option of cost per conversion, the store widget that we are getting. We don't have any option to know. We just see this like status, asset group ID, campaign ID, ad strength, assets.
Mudit,
So
that reminds me out of this call. Like you can go into the script, refresh it, and see which asset group is generating more store widgets, and then use it. Like the pause the other one, use that one only. So I think that optimization can be done, but there is no direct optimization from the dashboard.
from the dashboard, you cannot access any kind of data. And
And I think the biggest issue is the budget distribution transparency issue. Like there is no clarity at all. Like suppose means I'm uploading a new ad set or new set of ads, basically creatives
Mhm,
for a particular event,
mhm.
and I want to promote it for 7 days, and I still want to keep it running, but with a lower budget in future. But I literally have no control, and I think the biggest benefit of the performance max was that you upload it at one place and you run it at all the places. It does not work here. And also you have to upload all kind of creatives like single images, videos, text, everything. Now maybe I want to drive more purchase, and I know, like, of course, like most of the time I'm into the dark, and even when I use the script and I know like most of the purchase is coming from the shopping, I cannot manage the campaign in a way that it performs like it starts spending more money on shopping. There is no way I can manipulate the PMax campaign or optimize the PMax campaign in a way. So, and or we cannot spend more money on the asset group which is performing better, and that should be the basic. Ideally we should be able to, if not at least set budget at the asset group level and not at the campaign level. Like this is the worst thing that Google is going like providing us.
Yes, we just have like two options. So if we know by script also that what is performing and what is not performing, we can just either enable the asset group or just pause it. We cannot basically twinkle with the signals as well because we don't know that actually which signals perform for us. We just have an idea. Okay, we have selected these sort of signals in this asset group. So let's go ahead with that signal in the other asset groups as well. But like you said that we cannot control the budget and all. So yeah, this is a major flaw in this campaign.
And only way to do it is do through scripts, get the data, and then try to
It's not that the performance max campaigns are entirely bad or something of that sort. It has given the advertisers an option to actually more of the automation thing. It has given the advertiser the option to automate most of the things. We don't need to optimize it much more than what used to be earlier in the case of search campaigns or some and but for some digital marketers that actually understands the data, that actually understand each and everything, we rely more on the data part. And we so if we don't get the sort of data that we want by default in the dashboard, by default in the Google platform, Google Ads platform, then it kind of becomes an hassle.
Also, it does not make any sense that if you are giving some data at the report level, report editor inside, but why you are not giving your data in the dashboard where you are claiming that you will show where your ads are being shown. So these are the big issues as of now. The only way to optimize it is basically do it step by step, keep on improving, like take your campaign to maximize conversions and then maximize conversion value and then target ROS. Keep at least one bid strategy for 15-20 days and then you can grow from there.
Yes, I will agree with you and Mudit. What Mudit said, ki yes, we at least we need some data to analyze and optimize our campaign because we are very used to of it, and it will take some time to adjust with it. But uh, I'm sure, I mean, in coming days, if some Google is will hear us, then definitely I'm expecting something will come up in the near future. But we will at least get some insight of it, the performance campaigns.